Boom! Juggernaut here. Welcome back, YouTubers. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much. If you aren't, please hit that subscribe button, smash that bell button so you get alerts for any time I'm doing something new, exciting, and live streams more and more. All right, so what we're doing today is I had a client who wanted their Raspberry Pi 3 box updated with Kodi install, so I thought I'd take advantage of that and do an install video. So before we get into that, take a look at this.
I got some dirty shit to pick up at the dry clean. I got a tidy bitch to pick up, I got love Selena. Shady hop up in the whip, but I ain't never seen it. Shady love the way I whip it in a two-seater.
Alright folks, welcome back. Before we get started, just mention a couple things. The Raspberry Pi 3, in this case, those who are not familiar with it, it is a single board mini PC type computer or device. It is going to be running the LibreELEC operating system, which is a Linux-based operating system. Their mantra is just enough OS for Kodi. So what happens is when it's installed and you go to run it, just boots right into Kodi. These boxes do not have a hard drive. It runs off an SD card or a micro SD card. And what we're going to be doing today is during the setup, I'm going to show you how to get and use the LibreELEC SD creator, because you're going to need to install a image which can be downloaded from the LibreELEC website, and show you how to put that onto the SD card and then go through the setup. And here we go. Alright, the first thing we need to do is go to Google, and then we're going to go to the LibreELEC website. You can press pause if you need to get that URL. We're going to go to downloads, and we're going to choose Windows because that's the operating system I'm using to use the SD creator. I'm going to save that file. Once it has downloaded, I am going to access it and going to start it. And when the self-contained LibreELEC SD creator pops up, you can see it's you have multiple choices of device that you have. We're doing this on a Raspberry Pi 3. The image that we want is the 8.2.5. If you already have the file, you can select it, but we do not, so we're going to download it. Depending on your internet speed, that will determine the length of time to download as usual. Now, while this is downloading, what I usually do is I grab my SD to micro SD adapter, and I take the micro SD card out of the Raspberry Pi and slip it in the adapter, and then I will insert it into my laptop. So while this download is finishing, I insert it into my laptop. As you can see, it's there. I'm going to click right, and I do want to wipe it. So we just wait. There's a progress bar at the bottom. If by chance that you run into problems with writing the image, you may need to format the SD card. There will be a link in the description to a SD formatter application that you can download, and you can format your SD card and then follow these steps and do it again. So as this comes to being close to finishing the image right, we will move on to the next step. So when booting up the Raspberry Pi, we are using LibreELEC, just enough OS for Kodi. It boots into Kodi 17.6. And as you can see, it is the standard baseline Kodi. The first thing that pops up is a LibreELEC settings or welcome pop-up. What I like to do is I just go through this, pressing next. Going through all the way to the end here. The reason is after we do a build install, we actually have to go through it again. So we'll quickly look into there. First thing you may notice is the top right that the time is off. That is because you set the regions and the time zone and everything when you are in LibreELEC or within Kodi. And what I noticed is that if I went into LibreELEC and actually went and set up the time and everything, after I do a build, it resets. I have to do it again. So that being said, the first thing that I'd like to do is I would like to connect to the internet. So we go into the system through the gear cog, go down to LibreELEC, and we go to the connections. We're going to connect to our installed demo wireless connection, which here is the password. If anybody wants to come on over, feel free to use that password. Press OK. We just wait until it connects wirelessly. And depending on the settings already default in there, the time is already changed. We back out here, and we could back out all the way out just to give like the fresh start look, because what we're going to do is this is where we're going to install our Kodi build. So first thing to do is go into the system cog and head on over to system settings, move on down to add-ons, and we want to enable unknown sources, so we say yes. Once that's done, we can back out. We want to go to the file manager. Now in the file manager, we're going to add a source. So we want to click on the none to add the URL. This is where you're going to add the URL to the repo or build of your choice. Of course, I'm going to do Juggernaut, so we're going to do Supreme Builds repo. And this is where, if you want to, you can pause the video after I input this in order to get the proper URL address. Once it's there, we click on down and put the name of the source. And if we get no errors, we just go ahead and back out and back right out to the main menu. We move on down to add-ons and click on add-ons, and then move up to the install package, the install packager, and then we install from zip file. Move down to what we named, or you named your source. The zip, we want to install the repo. Again, depending on your internet speed, we wait until we see the confirmation that it is installed. From there, we move to install repo. Move on down to the repo. And we're going to go to program add-ons because we're installing a wizard. And it's the Supreme Builds wizard. And we want to install. Again, depending on the speed, we wait until it gives us a confirmation that it's installed. The one thing that I do want to point out, sometimes with the Supreme Builds wizard, when we get the welcome pop-up like it's happening right now, is you can see at the bottom where it says dismiss and remind me later. So I'm going to go ahead and click dismiss. But if you notice, the backdrop doesn't disappear. So I just press continue on here. If it's still there, I press ignore, and then I just go through it again. This is something that we are aware of and working on fixing. So we press continue, and then this is where we want to go into the builds menu. Once in the builds menu, you can choose one of the Supreme builds that you like: Titanium, X4, Quest Media, Morpheus, Supreme Kids, the Hellions, and then Juggernaut. So I'm just going to pick server 1. From there, move on down to fresh install. And we do want to continue to restore our Kodi configuration. Once again, depending on your internet speed, this will determine the length of time of download. We are doing this at main peak times of my area, so it seems like that my wireless is congested. So because the demo wireless in my house is only 2.4 and we are connecting out, it looks like it's going to take a while. If I did have it connected, it takes less than 30 seconds. So this is where I'm going to pause the video post editing, advance the video, I mean, forgive me, so you guys don't have to wait through 15 minutes to download. So see you in a blink of an eye. Alright, during the editing, I did not realize that I was cutting out the entire download time and install time. So we are at the point now where we need to press force close. So let's go ahead and do that now. So this is where we need to be patient. When installing a build, give it a minute or two after it restarts in order to do all the updates. With this, we are going to notice that the before mentioned LibreELEC welcome pop-up is going to come up again. But what I like to do is just let it sit and do all the updates in order not to run into any crashes or corrupt files or anything like that. Just let the build do its thing. Please forgive the dead air. We are waiting, and I am wanting to do this part in real time. Just to show the time frame that is needed. With the Supreme builds, all of them, when it gets into the enabling disabled add-ons, it's when we're getting close to the end of all the add-ons being updated and the build fully being installed. Once this is done, it will move over, and as you can see behind this welcome to LibreELEC, just underneath you can see that it's actually moved to the IPTV paid menu item. This is an indication that it has done the install fully and is continuing the last bit of updates. So here you can choose to be patient if you wish. You can wait till the end, or you can just click the next on the welcome. So basically it is welcome you to LibreELEC. That's the operating system on here. And in here, we're kind of fighting against the add-on updates in the back. So on the network, just like your any boxes or any phones or any devices connected to the network, it has a name. This is asking if you'd like to change the name from LibreELEC to whatever you can say, living room box type thing. This here indicates the networks that are around you for wireless. Because in the beginning, if you recall, we already attached to our demo install, so that's the one that's showing right there. Sharing a remote access, I do not want to cover this too much unless you know a lot of the backbone of LibreELEC. You don't want to mess with this. This gives you remote access into the root directories, and I do not recommend it unless you're actually a skilled programmer. And thank you. So once that's done, you can see, like I said before, the menu items have moved over to the IPTV paid. So this is where we move back, and I want to go into the main menu, down to system, and I want to go into interface. When we go into interface, this is going to allow us to set the region. So we're in Canada. So if you're in the US, change it to yours, UK, anywhere like that. I'm in Canada. And then we want to move to the time zone country. which is also Canada. Then I would like to go to the time zone. And you might find the same thing as well, like where we're located, there is no exact indicator. So the closest one is Regina for us. And you can change these if you wish. So that has shown like the time has now changed to the accurate time and the time zone. So we can go ahead and exit out of there. And we can go exit back to the main screen. Always with the new updates, those who run Chapter and Wraith, as you can see while we're going through this process, there was a lot of updates. That just means I need to update my Juggernaut build. But a lot of the add-ons have updated, which is good. The Chapter for some reason, add-on likes to not update itself. It will install and then it gives an error. So we just head into video add-ons. Then from video add-ons, we just move down to Chapter. On your remote or keyboard, you click and hold the OK or menu button till this context menu pops up, and you go ahead and hit information, update, and you choose the Blamo repo. Again, we just wait for confirmation that the add-on has been updated. There we go. Took a little longer than normal. So that is it. The Raspberry Pi running LibreELEC, which is its mantra is just enough OS for Kodi. We installed it. Through the video at the beginning, the steps in order to get the LibreELEC on the SD card. Run it on the Pi, do the install of a build, configure it, and here we are. Please remember at the end of every install or every add-on update or any changes that you make to your Kodi, always go to the power within Kodi, and you want to either power off or reboot. What I choose to do here is reboot. The reason being is when Kodi is starting, that's when everything is updated, and when it is exiting, that's when it is saved. So because we did here a fresh install and we had a ton of updates, it might take a little bit to reboot, but it looks like it didn't. So here's a fast reboot, getting back into it. And boom, Juggernaut. You may not see that Pulse 8 CEC adapter. That is with the Raspberry Pi, is just letting you know that the CEC, which for those when you go into settings, you can turn that on. So when you power down your Raspberry Pi, it actually sends a suspend or turn off signal through the HDMI to whatever device it's hooked to, like your TV or monitor. And it actually can be done vice versa. If you turn off your monitor, your Raspberry Pi, or your Android devices, if it has CEC, will turn off or to go into suspend mode as well. So again, I thank you. I hope you find this useful. Please post at the bottom if you have any questions. If you are a subscriber, thank you. If you are brand new, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell button in order to receive any alerts when I'm doing something new or any reviews, installs, or live streams.